And I spent 2.5 years investigating elections after the 2020 election. And I was absolutely stunned to see that there isn't a single part of the process that isn't affected by fraud. And even these states that stand up and say, we have all paper ballots. Yeah, but what do you do with your paper ballot? You make your mark on a paper ballot and you stick it in a machine and it spits out a QR code. So your paper ballot means nothing. And you know what I say to election officials everywhere I go? I say, how many of you speak code? Raise your hand if you know how to speak code. And not one of them ever raises their hand. And I say to them, then you certified you're guilty of fraud. You certified an election with zero idea of whether it said what you think it said.
Yeah, my daddy was the precinct at the 46th precinct down at West Hills. When they go count the votes, I can remember they would count the paper ballots and you'd have 2 Democrats, 2 Republicans, and then a person watching, and they would watch them and they counted the paper ballots, every dadgum one of them. Sometimes it took 4 or 5 hours, but you know what? Everybody counted those dadgum votes, and and they probably made some mistakes, and probably some elections were stolen, but that is the only way.
But nobody stole the whole election. Nobody stole state after state after state. That was the difference. You know, with the technology, it took sort of pickpocketing to global fraud, right? Overnight. That's what you can do with computers and machines. And their only issue is they have to bring in the physical ballots to support that. And they need the names on the voter rolls. That's what all this, automatic voter registration is about. They need those names so that they have something to cheat with.
Absolutely.
And it's so obvious. Everybody knows it. I mean, they hack into the voting machines every year at that kind of like a Comic-Con thing, but for hackers in Vegas. They hack into those machines in seconds.
Every time at the Pentagon or one of those guys or gals or any of these election things says, this is impenetrable. There's some kid in Southern California in his garage that is on some computer. I don't get it. My daughter's good at it. I know folks that are good at it. And a guy told me one time, he said, Burchett, he said, when we ever go to all computerized voting from home, he said,
it's over.
If you lose that election, it's your own fault.
It's over.
They're just going to steal it.